In early 2025, the disappearance and murder of 14-year-old Emily Pike sent shockwaves through Arizona and the broader Indigenous community. A young girl with dreams of a brighter future, Emily's life was cruelly cut short, highlighting deep systemic failures that continue to place Indigenous women and girls at risk. Her story is not just one of tragedy, but also one of resilience, activism, and the urgent need for change. As we explore the events surrounding Emily's disappearance and death, we also shine a light on the broader issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women, MMIW, a crisis that has plagued Native communities for generations. This documentary-style investigation seeks to uncover the details of Emily's case, analyze the response from authorities, and amplify the voices of those demanding justice. Who was Emily Pike? Emily Pike was a bright and artistic 14-year-old girl from the San Carlos Apache tribe. Her family described her as kind, intelligent, and full of life. She loved painting and had dreams of pursuing higher education. Emily's mother, Steph Docella, often spoke about her daughter's love for learning and her creative spirit. Despite her strong family ties, Emily was living in a group home in Mesa, Arizona, at the time of her disappearance. She had been placed there due to circumstances that many Indigenous children face: poverty, systemic neglect, and an overrepresentation of Native youth in the foster care system. While she had run away from the group home before, she had always been found or returned on her own. This time, however, was different. The disappearance. On January 27, 2025, Emily was last seen leaving her group home near Mesa Drive and McKellips Road. It was around 7:45 p.m. when she walked out the door, wearing a pink and gray shirt. At first, her absence did not raise immediate alarms. Emily had a history of leaving the group home without permission, and staff likely assumed she would return, as she had in the past. However, as hours turned into days, concern grew. Disturbingly, Emily's mother was not informed about her disappearance until a full week later. By then, precious time had already been lost. The delay in reporting not only hindered search efforts but also raised serious questions about the protocols followed by the group home and authorities. Her mother immediately took to social media, pleading for help in locating her daughter. The San Carlos Apache community mobilized, sharing Emily's picture and details across platforms, hoping for any leads. A gruesome discovery. Tragically, Emily's story took a heartbreaking turn on February 14, 2025, when her remains were discovered off Highway 60 near milepost 277, northeast of Globe, Arizona. Authorities reported that her body was found in large trash bags, with severe trauma to her face and head. Even more horrifying, Emily's hands and legs were missing, indicating a level of brutality that shocked even seasoned investigators. The Gila County Sheriff's Office quickly ruled her death a homicide, and the FBI, along with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, joined the investigation. However, no suspects were immediately identified, and details about her final moments remained shrouded in mystery. Community outrage and grief. The news of Emily's murder devastated her family and community. Vigils were held in her honor, with hundreds gathering to mourn and demand justice. "Emily has become everyone's daughter, granddaughter, and niece," said Mary Kim Tietla, a San Carlos Apache tribe member. "She was stolen from us, and we will not stop until justice is served." The Indigenous community, already painfully aware of the MMIW crisis, saw Emily's case as another tragic example of how Native women and girls are disproportionately targeted by violence. According to the National Crime Information Center, over 5,700 Indigenous women were reported missing in the U.S. in a single year. Yet their cases rarely receive the same media attention or law enforcement resources as those of non-Native victims. Why are Indigenous women at risk? Emily's case is not an isolated incident. The MMIW epidemic has been a long-standing issue, with Native women facing some of the highest rates of homicide, trafficking, and disappearance in the country. 1. Systemic neglect and underreporting. The lack of urgency in reporting Emily missing is a common issue in Indigenous cases. Many disappearances go unreported for days or even weeks, reducing the chances of finding the victim alive. 2. Jurisdictional confusion. When crimes occur on or near reservations, jurisdictional conflicts between tribal, state, and federal law enforcement often slow down investigations. In Emily's case, multiple agencies became involved, but delays in coordination may have affected the case's outcome. 3. High rates of foster care placement. Native children are disproportionately placed in foster care. Emily's placement in a group home highlights how Indigenous youth often become disconnected from their families and communities, making them more vulnerable to predators. 4. A lack of media attention. While cases of missing white women often receive national coverage, Indigenous victims like Emily rarely make headlines. This disparity in media attention contributes to the slow response in solving these crimes. The investigation. What we know. So far as of now, authorities have not publicly named any suspects in Emily's case. However, the FBI has taken the lead, working closely with local and tribal law enforcement. The cause of death was confirmed as blunt force trauma, but investigators have remained tight-lipped about potential leads. Some community members have expressed frustration at the slow progress, fearing that Emily's case might go cold. Given the brutality of the crime, many suspect that more than one person may have been involved. Family members and activists have called for a transparent investigation, urging authorities to release more details. In the wake of Emily's murder, advocates are pushing for several reforms. Improved missing persons protocols. Group homes and foster care agencies must be held accountable for immediately reporting missing children. Law enforcement agencies should treat all missing Indigenous youth cases with urgency. Increased funding for tribal law enforcement. Tribal police are often underfunded and lack the necessary resources to investigate serious crimes. Federal support should be expanded to help solve and prevent cases like Emily's. Better interagency cooperation. Jurisdictional confusion slows down investigations. Establishing task forces that include tribal, state, and federal agencies can improve response times. More media coverage for Indigenous cases. News outlets should commit to covering Indigenous cases with the same urgency given to non-native victims. Social media activism has played a key role in keeping Emily's story alive, demonstrating the power of digital advocacy. Emily Pike's story is one of loss, injustice, and resilience. While her life was tragically cut short, her memory serves as a call to action. The fight for justice continues, not just for Emily, but for the countless other Indigenous women and girls who have been taken too soon. As we remember Emily, we must continue to advocate for systemic change, hold institutions accountable, and ensure that no more Indigenous families have to endure such heartbreak. If you or someone you know has any information about Emily Pike's case, please contact the FBI or the Gila County Sheriff's Office. Let's work together to bring justice to Emily and prevent future tragedies. Emily Pike's story is not just a tragedy. It's a call to action. Her case highlights the ongoing crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women, a crisis that demands urgent attention. We must push for change, stronger laws, better protection, and real accountability. If Emily's story moved you, share this video, spread awareness, and support organizations fighting for justice. No family should have to endure such a loss. Let's make sure Emily's voice is heard and her memory fuels change. Subscribe for more stories that matter, and together, let's be the voice for those who can no longer speak.